Hey everybody, I'm back. It's Nate Dennehy, East Bay boy, and this is my video on Beverly Hills 9210. So I'm gonna start off and say I think that show is iconic. It definitely helped birth a whole generation of teen dramas. Like there'd be no One Tree Hill, there would be no any teen drama you can think of. A majority of them, anyways. There wouldn't be if Beverly Hills 9210 never came out. And one thing I liked about that show was it always, pushed the norms for a teen drama. And, it had phenomenal characters. Like every single character on that show is just iconic. Like out of the main group of characters, like Brandon Walsh, Dylan McKay, Brenda Walsh, Kelly Taylor, David Silver, Donna Martin, Steve Sanders, and just every single character as a main group of friends is just treated with such respect and love. You could just tell that the writers had such a great time creating each character. And the thing that I really like about this show is each character is unique. Like, it's not like a lot of teen dramas where every single character is the same character, or the same person. This is not that type of show. Every single character is unique, is their own person, and it's very refresh. Like you have Brandon, you have the heart and the soul. That man is just the definition of smooth, if I've ever seen it, and the definition of just a ladies' man. But he's also, the boys love him too. And what I mean by that is he's one of those alpha guys. Kind of like the boys love him, but the girls also love him. I know that didn't make any sense, but he's basically a very well-liked guy from both genders, pretty much, what I'm trying to say. And you have like Dylan McKay, the broody, calm, collected. Like that guy can read me to sleep, and I would have definitely not complained. Like the guy is just, I don't know what it is about the way that Luke Perry, the way he talked. It was so common. It was so soothing. But those are on the grounds of things that I liked about Beverly Hills. But one thing I will say about that show is I feel like it kind of relied on shock value a little too much, and at times it got a little too cheesy. It got a little too cheesy at times. But as far as characters go, every single character is iconic as hell of the main group. And the writing for the characters never falls short. Well, for the most part. So I'm just gonna start off with my personal favorite characters. So it'd be hard to talk about this show without talking about my boy. So I gotta start off with Brandon Walsh. I feel like Brandon Walsh is the definition of a gentleman. Like I remember when I first started watching this show, I was like, damn, that man is so refreshing. Like that's the definition of a gentleman. But not like, it's not like he was like a very charming gentleman. But he's also one of the boys. Like the boys loved him too. So it's kind of just like, damn, that's refreshing. Like he always talked calm and collected. He rarely ever, got mad. He was just, ladies loved him. They loved him. I mean, it was a running joke kind of for the longest time. The first few seasons, the guy couldn't get a girlfriend to save his life. But then, I don't know if it was the show writers, I don't know what it was. But then next thing you know, like, I think it was like, I forgot what season it was. But next thing you know, this man just can't stay out of a relationship. Like, and one thing that I like about Brandon's character that was just very endearing and set him aside from the other main characters is his passion. Like whenever he was passionate about something or something, he did it no matter what, and it didn't matter what somebody else thought about it. Like for example, when Donna ended up getting expelled from school. I forget what season it happened in, but Brandon literally led a movement to that they all were gonna risk getting expelled for them to literally let Donna in. So he literally he led a movement so would like they all would like basically walk out of school, and they all would fail the test if they didn't accept Donna back in. And he made them apply the pressure. Or there was the many times, when he'd go to bat when one of his friends needed him. Or there was when he helped keep the peach pit open for Nat, because otherwise it's gonna get closed down. And he stepped up. I think this is when they were in college. I don't remember, but he pretty much helped keep that open. And while he was still had his duties in high school, I think it's college. Oh, even though he still had his own duties that he had to complete, he pretty much still worked there, as busy as he was, and he was a busy guy. So the guy just was full-hearted, just passionate guy, a loyal friend. Like when anybody ever needed him, he was always there, always. And just very infectious. Definitely, for sure, the heart and soul of the group. And then after that, I got to kind of get into Brenda Walsh, obviously his twin sister. So another very passionate character. Another passionate character. But Brenda's character was more fierce. Like if she wanted something, she'd do whatever she needed to do to make it happen. And she was more fierce, where Brandon would kind of let anybody say whatever they wanted to him, even if it meant disrespecting him. Brenda, if you tried to disrespect her, she would pretty much ream your asshole and just let you know pretty much where you can stick it, pretty much. Because there's many times where she's butted with her parents, butted with Brendan, butted with Kelly. She butted with Kelly a lot. Butted with David. Well, actually, no, she never did butt heads with David, actually. And I don't really think Donna either. I mean, everybody loves Donna. Let's be honest here. But her character was very fierce, and that's one thing I really liked. Very fierce. Like she wanted something, she would go get it. If somebody said she couldn't do it, she'd do it. And she's the type of person that she wouldn't stop until she made it a reality. And I feel like that's a very, very cool trait. Very cool trait. She's a very stubborn character, meaning you physically have to see the end of something. Like if she was to do something, she would have to, see through it to the end on her terms. It didn't matter if it wasn't a smart idea. If somebody else said it's not a smart idea, she had to come to the conclusion that it was a bad idea. And we all can relate to that, because I'm stubborn as hell too. And I feel like that was a pretty good thing to kind of set her aside from Brandon, her stubbornness. And I mean, the most time, but I guess you could say her character was, but I really liked her character. I mean, there's times her character can get a little selfish. I'm not gonna lie. But for the most part, I really enjoyed her character. And I really enjoyed her character. So I thought it was a very good, it's kind of like something different from Brandon's character, And now I have to talk about my boy, my other boy, my homeboy Luke Perry, Dylan McKay. The definition of cool. That man, I don't care what anyone has to say. Whenever there was an emotional scene in the show, Nobody acted it better than Luke Perry. I don't care what anyone has to say. Whenever there was an emotional scene in the show, Luke Perry gave his heart and soul. Like if somebody died, you believed it when Luke Perry was on that screen. If he was mad at somebody, oh, you believed he was gonna kill him. If he was happy, well, you were happy too. He was crying, well, you were definitely sobbing in your bed too, with a pint of ice cream. Listen probably to Adele, someone like you probably in the background. But the man was just so good at conveying his emotions, and he was the king of that. Whenever there was an emotional scene or something fucked up that was needed to happen to a character, it happened to Luke Perry's character. So, and the guy, just when he talked, there's something about it. He was just very like, he was like, oh, you want to go get some ice cream? And you just be like, yeah, I do want to go get some ice cream. And it put you in a good mood. You know, because it's something just calm, collected about the guy. Like, and to some points that would get him his ass, like, that's one thing that some characters get annoyed at. Kelly. And Brenda was his nonchalant. Like, he's the definition of nonchalant. But the guy was very cool. Toxic. He's the definition of a toxic male. I'm not gonna lie there. But, just such a fun character. Luke Perry gave his character so much flavor. He was like I guess you can say a steak. A very, very well-cooked steak. You know, you never knew what you're gonna get with his character. And it was very, very, very refreshing. And then after talking about Brenda and after talking about Dylan, I have to talk about Kelly. I have a lot to say about Kelly. Sorry, my lips are a little dry, I'm not gonna lie. And I just wanted this to be known. I do plan on getting better quality equipment. Like I'm recording my phone right now, but this is the only way I was gonna get started on my YouTube career. I'm the type of person, like, I kind of procrastinate, so if I don't start it, if I keep saying it, I'm never gonna do it, you know? So I'm just like, you know what, let me just start recording videos and getting them out there, and let me save up for a nice quality camera and a nice quality microphone. And that's what I'm doing. So I just want all of y'all to know that I do plan on making the best quality videos ever, but I just had to get started, you know? Had to get started, and this is better than nothing. So I do apologize, and slowly but surely the quality of the videos will get better in the future. I needed to get started. I'm a procrastinator. If I kept saying it, I never was gonna do it. So now I'm officially, doing it, one step at a time. But Kelly's character in the beginning of the show was a very sweet girl. Kind of, I don't know if I'd go as far as saying goody two shoes, maybe goody two shoes, but he was I wouldn't necessarily say slutty either. I wouldn't say that. I don't want to say that. It's kind of controversial, especially as a man, for me to say that. No, she wasn't slutty. She was just very, very nice. And in the beginning of the show, her mom was kind of a druggie. And alcoholic, I think. So, since her mom didn't really pay attention to her, she was always trying to get her attention. And, she'd act out and do things. And eventually her mom's just like, you know what? It's going too far. I need to get help. And then her mom, Jackie Taylor, her mom, really did get help and became a pretty awesome mom from then on, But yeah, Kelly's character went from the definition of a sweet girl who a lot of men took advantage of, unfortunately. And I would like to say this switch happened in college, but I don't know what the hell happened. But in college, she went from being a sweet girl to kind of being an asshole. I'm gonna be honest. Like, she went from being nice to, I guess you could say, the confident girl, but she kind of became rude as shit. Like, she was always on Dylan's ass about shit. Um, what's the example so I could talk about this and not sound like an asshole? Um, I no, that's not a good example. When she got mad at Dylan for getting married after the whole, Brandon and Dylan were competing over her thing. When she got mad at Dylan for getting married and moving on after her. Like, how are you gonna get mad at somebody else for moving on after you turned both of them down? And she got mad at him for that. She literally called him to the back of the peach pit or outside, and she got mad at him and started yelling at him. I'm like, that's a little much. Like, especially because she's the one that turned them both down. Because she said she needed to focus on herself, which was cool, which was all right. And there's a lot of times in the show where her character could just be the most petty, manipulative motherfucker. I'm sorry. Because I did love her character. Her character wasn't always rude as shit. And she had some fucked up shit happen to her character. Like, her character pretty much almost got SA'd pretty much 2 times, and then in the last season she did, and then she caught a body, but he was trying to kill her. Her abuser was trying to kill her, and she caught a body. She killed his ass, and she had to go through that shit. But her character could just be really hypersensitive and very just kind of rude. Like, she's the type of character, if she didn't agree with you, then if you said anything she didn't agree with, she would get really mad. Like, really mad. And she would pretty much just call you a piece of shit. And that's one thing I didn't like. However, even though those are things I didn't like, and her character could just annoy me, I love her character though. I mean, because when she's not being rude, she's nice. She's a very nice girl, very smart, very loyal friend when she wants to be. And yeah, she's, I guess you can say, a multi-dimensional character. She was, like I said, when she wasn't being petty or being rude as hell, she was a cool character. And we go to my personal favorite, Donna Martin. The definition of a true friend. Like, her character, she was the definition of just uplifting her friends. Like, whenever her friends needed her, she was always there. And it was a very refreshing thing. Like, she's just such a positive ball of sunshine. It's just, you couldn't help but watch the show and be like, have a little bit of a smile on your face. You couldn't. And she was always, just there whenever her friends needed a shoulder to cry on or someone to talk to. She was always there. And whenever somebody needed support, she was the first person to support them. And she was just a great person. I'm sorry. Like, I love her character. I love her character. Like, she's the type of character and good person. If Donna Martin did not like you, then you were a piece of shit. You were a piece of shit if Donna Martin didn't like you. Because one thing that Kelly didn't like you, because Kelly didn't like a lot of people. A lot of people. But if Donna didn't like you, then you need to rethink yourself as a human being. Because that means there's something wrong with you. Because Donna was the type of person anybody could like. Like, literally. She's kind of like Brandon, I guess you could say. Like, she's the definition. She's a loyal, passionate, but unfortunately, like with Kelly, there was the blonde stereotype. So people would like to kind of be like, oh, she's a blonde, and assume that she was dumb. And she was far from dumb. She was very talented with fashion and design and clothes, has a great fashion. I mean, it's not fashion, excuse me, that's not a word, but fashion sense. And it was really refreshing, to get to see that. And her and Kelly both proved the blonde stereotype is outdated and just not true. And honestly, I can make a whole video about my love for Donna Martin. I really could. I can make a whole video, but y'all wouldn't like that. So I'm just gonna leave it there and just say that she was just a very cool character. I mean, I guess you could say she's naive at times, but that's the only bad thing you could say about Donna's character. Because she was a loyal friend, always there when they needed her. I mean, I don't know if I mentioned, gorgeous too. Oh my God, she was gorgeous. But loyal, a positive vibe all the time. When all of them were down, she always kept their spirits up. And trust me, there's some fucked up shit that happened in that show. Some fucked up shit. Some fucked up shit. Fucked up. But she always kept the vibe positive. And that's very, very refreshing, in my opinion. So to end on a high note, her character is just the person you wish you could date. And the person you wish you could be friends with. Because once you were friends with Donna Martin, you're friends with her for life. Whether you want it or you don't. And that's why I end on my, Donna Martin and her kind of the person that she was and her character. So now I kind of got to get into Andrea Zuckerman. So a few minutes ago, I was kind of bitching and moaning about Kelly's character. So Andrea was a very uptight person, a very loyal friend, but she was kind of like Kelly in the aspect that if she didn't agree with your opinion, you would know. You would know. She would make it very clear to you. She was very stubborn, very opinionated, to put it lightly. Loving too, because I don't want to sound like I'm just hating on her character. Very loving character, very good friend, very good wife, mom. All those things, those great things. But very opinionated, very, I guess you can say fearless. She was a very fearless person. And however, I'm not gonna lie, there were times that her character was the biggest asshole. I'm not gonna try to lie about that. However, her character, what I do like, and what I do like what the writers did, is they kind of made it so she's kind of like the underdog you couldn't help root for, Her dream school was, to go to Yale, and she lived everybody else was pretty much rich and shit. Her living situation wasn't as good. So it was very, a lot of people can relate to her character, you know what I mean? And I thought that was pretty good, and I always did root for her character, because one thing that the show kind of did is, it kind of created the suspense. Will she get caught, and will she get kicked out of school? So I thought that was pretty creative, dynamic, or to create, and fascinating thing for her character, I thought. So that's what I got to say about her character, Andrea Zuckerman. Not really a lot, but once I get better quality, like camera and microphone, and I get better editing, and I start editing, learning, teaching myself to edit, I'll probably redo this video and really do a detailed, in-depth, overview on the show and the characters and everything. But that's kind of what I'll say about Andrea Zuckerman. I don't have really much to say about her. So I'm going to talk about my boy, David Silver. He, as far as I'm concerned, he gets the cake for character that had the biggest glow up. Because his character in the first season used to be a creep. A class A creep. He went from being a creep to being, I would say, kind of like, oh, it's kind of pushing it a little far, but I guess I wouldn't say that. He just became a cool guy. He went from being a creep to being a pretty chill guy. Like, he didn't get mad about much. He was a pretty good friend. When it comes to the ladies that this man dated, he took the cake from Brandon, and he took the cake from Dylan. This man dated Donna. He dated, he used to be obsessed with Kelly, so he couldn't date Kelly because they became stepbrother and stepsister. But he dated Donna. He dated Valerie. He dated Claire. All smoke shows. Like, they're all gorgeous girls with great personalities. Except Claire. She was snobby. Don't get me started on her. Get a whole video on her ass. But, yeah, it's just like, his character really got a great 180. And then he got the music stuff. He's a great musician. Great friend. He was tall, so that's cool. Great radio show host. Great brother. He was just a loyal, just pretty chill guy. Like, very chill guy, very cool guy to be around. So I really liked his character, which is really, shocking to me, because I used to think his character was creepy. This is the same guy that wanted to film all the girls in the locker room in the first season. But just literally out of nowhere, his character just started hanging out with them, the main group of characters, Brandon and them, and then he started to become cool. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And then after that would probably have to be Steve. My boy again. The definition of an alpha male. Just such a cool guy. The definition of the life of the party. That was Steve Sanders in a nutshell. The life of a party. There was no party if Steve was not there. There was no party. But I guess one thing you could say about Steve was he didn't, and this is what I can relate to too. He didn't always think shit through. So a lot of the times he'll think something's cool. He doesn't put a lot of thought into it, and shit goes wrong. He's like, oh, ooh. So, however, all of us can relate to that. Well, most of us probably can. I know I definitely can. And, yeah. But, I think that he's a very cool character, very refreshing, very cool alpha male. Like, he's not your typical jock. Like, because the show kind of did a fake out in the beginning of the show, where it kind of made you think he was, but his character has a lot of layers. Like, yes, he's your alpha male, your jock, but there's layers. There's layers to Steve. Like, he's an emotional guy. He's scared of commitment, and he likes to have a good time, and I feel like that's very refreshing, and it kind of breaks the stereotype that jocks are just dumb. I don't know, like, I'm trying to say this about the stereotype about jocks. Like, he was big, he was blonde, but he was not dumb. Well, he was smart in his own way. Okay? And he's a cool guy. He's a great friend. Very chill guy. Very life of the party. As for Claire, I'm going to just say this lightly. Her character was... Maybe it's a little bit biased, right? Because I liked Steve a lot. And that's my homeboy. But Claire annoyed the living hell out of me. Like, literally whatever Steve would do, she would have something to bitch about. Like, he could literally be like, he could agree with her, and she'd be like, what the fuck? Why are you agreeing with me? Or he could be like, hey, do you want to go on a walk? She'd be like, what the fuck? And she'd get mad at that. Or he would get her, or he could literally like get her chicken. She'd be like, what the fuck? I want a steak. And I'm like, Jesus. I just couldn't deal with that. I wouldn't. And literally all she did was just bitch and moan whatever the man did. So when it's kind of fucked up when her character, kind of, I don't know if she was written out, what happened. The show, they didn't mention her at all after that. And I found that funny as fuck. Funny as fuck. But yeah, I didn't like her character. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I don't really care if it makes anybody mad. Any fans of her character, I'm sorry. That she was not the character for me. However, the second love of my life was, hold on tight. This is going to be legend. Wait for it. Dairy. My second love of my life on the show was Valerie Malone. I mean, Tiffany Amber, like, oh my God, she still is, but my God, she was a smoke show. Like, she was gorgeous. Like, and one thing I'll say about her character is she was the definition of a wild card. Kind of like Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like, you never knew what the hell she was going to say or what she was going to do. And unfortunately, I feel like a lot of the stuff with her dad, which was fucked up, don't get me started on that. I feel like the writers kind of just tied that with her character. And that was the only thing that her character was. Like, the things that happened with her dad being, inappropriately touched and, violated by, her dad. And basically killing the guy. But I think that could have been a good storyline for one season. But the thing with the show is that was her storyline from like season 7 all the way to like 9 when she exited. I'm like, come on, writers. It's fine to have that be something. I can understand it was a trauma, a lifetime trauma that she always has to live with. But one issue that I personally had that the show did, and this is just me, is whenever she would do something wrong, the show would always be like, hey, this happened to her by her dad. So it's okay that she manipulated this millionaire out of money. And even though he was cheating on his wife, it's okay if she manipulates the man and fakes an abortion, and threatens to tell his wife and kid because, hey, that happened with her dad. And I felt like that was kind of a pretty dangerous message to be sending out. But yeah, I just, but other than that, I feel like there's a lot of potential of the character, and I feel like they sort of missed the ball with her. But it was nice as a character to kind of never know what the hell she was going to say or what she was going to do. So I really did enjoy that. And I thought when she left the show, the way she left, Tiffany Amber acted the hell out of it. It was emotional. I'm not going to lie. I shed a tear. No, I mean, because I was in love with her. I still am. And one thing that was fascinating about the show, literally even the characters didn't fuck with her. Because Kelly, who, if you watch the show, Kelly and Valerie, those two hated each other. I don't even think hate describes the relationship between the two. But literally Brandon was the only one that fucked with her. Because Brandon's the only one she didn't fuck over. But she clearly had daddy issues and shit. But, I thought she was a pretty interesting character. And I feel like there's so much different directions they could have taken her. They could have focused on after the whole things with her dad and things that happened with, forget his name. Noah? I don't know, the guy that Donna dated. I forget his name. But I feel like her character was kind of a missed ball. But the overview on the show, for sure, I would definitely say that this show literally birthed a whole generation of teen dramas. So without this show, a lot of the shows that we have now would not exist. So I feel like, and these characters, as far as I'm concerned, will always be iconic as hell and timeless. The show's timeless, even though the show's kind of cheesy and kind of it can kind of rely on shock value. The show is timeless as hell. I'm talking about the original because there's spin-offs and stuff, but the original one was timeless, and I don't care what anyone says about that. But my overall view of the show, I'd give it a timeless classic, and I would recommend it. I would recommend it to anybody. If you have time to spare and you want a show to binge watch, and you want great characters that you can fall in love with, I would recommend that show. But yeah, that's my opinion on Beverly Hills, and definitely curious to know what y'all's opinions are about the show. Like, who's your favorite character? Who's your least favorite character? What was your favorite episode? What was your least favorite episode? Just let me know in the comments. Hope you all, have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the video.